堪培拉作为澳洲的非八大，它的教育学院录取的英文要求可是比很多八大都要高。究竟是什么推动着堪培拉大学的教育学院如此有底气，吊高来卖
？I'd like to make my comment regarding the use in marketing because you said it's a smaller cohort and it's your intention to keep it as small.
I don't know that I'd say we were going to try and keep everything small. Focus a lot on the sustainability of a student profile that can support all of the buildings and services and the teaching that we offer. I also feel very confident in saying that we regard breaking even as a good thing. I don't think that UC is acquisitive when it comes to things like finance. We don't think of ourselves as a money-making institution or a business. We don't think that should be the focus of education. So we do need to find ways of making sure that we have enough money coming in to do all of the things that we want to do. So it's not about making money.
Yeah, that's what I want to say because I'm connected with the marketing department more, and I would say their marketing strategy is kind of conservative. They don't want to set up a very low entry requirement so that more students can come in to pay the tuition fee. They just want to ensure the quality of the student even when they enter. I would say relatively higher entry requirement compared to with many other uni. So what do you think of the entry requirement here?
I think that we're competitive. It's not absurdly high in comparison to other universities. That might be different from some others is the weight we put on non-academic admission criteria. So there is still an academic side to this where...
So students will be selected by their academic performance?
Partly by their academic performance. The other side of it, the non-academic side, is our attempt to assess your suitability for the teaching profession.
首页找到我，了解更多澳洲、新西兰留学移民资讯。
How do you assess that?
At the undergraduate level, we do it through a written questionnaire. So we ask people to respond to some questions about their motivation for becoming a teacher. It's written in our undergraduate program simply because of the volume of applications. We get hundreds of applications each year. So for entry into our Master of Teaching courses, there is still an academic component. So most people would be coming to a master's if they've got at least a bachelor's degree in a field related to education. Some people have more than one bachelor's degree or a bachelor and a master's. Some people have PhD qualifications. But the non-academic admission criteria is a video interview that students do online, and we call it a CASPI. It's an acronym that stands for Course Advice and Suitability for the Profession Interview. And I don't think any prospective students need to be afraid or really anxious about this element. It's really just to give them an opportunity to say a little bit about why they want to become a teacher.
It's a kind of a test of personality, motivation.
I don't know that I'd even call it a test. I would say it's probably a way...
Demonstration.
Getting to know you.
Okay.
Yeah, why they're choosing to apply for this course, what they think makes for a good teacher, maybe a couple of questions about how they think of things like leadership. And they have an opportunity to ask us questions in that interview as well. So it's two-way.
So any possibility for students to fail the test?
When that happens, though, we have a process where we might write to the student, we might ask them about some of their answers to the questions, because we don't think you have to demonstrate all of the qualities of a brilliant teacher at that interview. We believe that you can learn to become a teacher, and people should be given the opportunity to learn. So it's very rare that we would say someone should not be allowed entry purely on the basis of these answers. There may have been others that I'm unaware of, but I can only think of twice in my career where we've been so concerned that we haven't allowed the student entry into the course.
Can I ask why were you so concerned?
In one case, there were some concerning answers to the questions that suggested that what they understood teaching was and what the reality of it was were quite different things. And I think in the other case, it was probably more concern around language competency.
That's good to know because UC want to ensure that the students are capable to pass all those requirements. You want everyone can successfully register as a teacher after graduation.
Yeah, I think that we have an ethical obligation not to admit a student who we think is unlikely to be successful.
And I really appreciate for the ethical obligation here. You may have battled a lot with the marketing team, right? The quantity and quality.
Well, yeah, these things are always in a little bit of tension, and in most cases, we try to give people that opportunity.
澳新留学移民，记得找考拉联合哦。